Here is the original that I created in the sample. Oop. But I am going to show you a couple of different surfaces we can work on. I didn't get another one of these because I wanted to show you that you could make it on any wood surface, really. And let me see. I am recording. The wood pieces I use are usually walnut hollow. I like the quality of their product. It's usually like they're these type of wood pieces. You can see I taught on this one. Usually their wood surfaces are smooth enough to you could use a lot of different mediums over the top of. So I really like the quality. You could go for, you know, a beveled edge like I have here and here. You could go with a rough piece of wood, like a natural looking piece, like this one. And we also have like a little 4x4, just plain piece of wood. Now, I don't know which one. I'm not going to use the natural because it does get messy. I don't want it all over the place. Let's see here. Let's just use the 10x10 little square today. And I'll show you how you could distress and everything else. But you can find these at your craft store. You can find them online. I believe you can order straight from Walnut Hollow. They're just a nice surface to work on. And they take the Prima's chalkboard paints amazingly. So, all right, there you go. Okay. I had coffee this morning and I'm dying right now. All right, so Prima's chalkboard paints. They have a wide variety of colors. They have, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 colors out currently. And they're nice, subtle colors. They're really what is on trend in home decor right now. So no matter what your color schemes are, they've definitely got a color that would match kind of the theme of what you probably have. So you have the warmer tones, the cooler tones, and then your pinks and your neutrals like black and white. All right, so we're going to be using a couple. I'm going to be using the black as well as the golden. Also, we're going to be using Sea Breeze. And which one's this one? Golden Olive. And these two I'm just using basically as accent colors. They're not going to be painted heavily on. I like using them all the same just because I know the texture is going to be the same once I paint it down. And I'll show you on the sample where I went in and painted the feathers with the chalkboard paint to add a little bit of color. And I just wanted the same texture and finish throughout the board. So that's why I used the different colored chalkboard paints. Now, also, you don't have to use it as a chalkboard paint. You can use it as a regular matte paint as well. And that's the nice part about it also is that it has that nice matte finish. It can be used a lot of different ways and just instead of just as a chalkboard paint. So it could be a nice overall craft paint as well. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and take our little wood piece. Now, I'm not going to lie, I had a hard time. The reason why I didn't get another one of these is I had a hard time finding them. I think I actually ordered this one online, so I do apologize. I don't have this exact one, but same techniques. Also, I wanted to show you guys, you can take a cupboard in your kitchen, take that inside panel, and do the same techniques that we're going to be doing today on any type of wood surface. It actually could be any type of solid surface, solid porous surface, I should say. You could do this on canvas, you could do this on a panel board, whatever you have that is non-porous or is porous, I should say, will work. So, all right. What I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with my Sea Breeze, and I want to do an undercoat. And what this will do is when I take later on, I'm going to distress our board. It'll bring out this teal color in the background. Now, of course, I would use a larger brush, but I've kind of met my limit on. Now, you can prime the wood. It doesn't matter. I don't, just because if I go and sand through it, I want to be able I don't want that extra coat of paint to disturb anything. I'd rather have the teal or the wood come through, and just less layers and less work. Plus, this is just an undercoat, so this is kind of acting as our primer, so why waste your gesso when you don't need to, right? Alrighty. And again, this piece is a 10 by 10. The color is coming out a little bluer than what it actually is on camera. This is more of a teal finish. Very pretty. I'm going to color the edges as well, paint the edges as well. And again, I wanted, and you can do any color scheme. If you want to do like a holiday themed, this would look really pretty with the olive, the golden olive backdrop with the black on top. And then you could use golds and greens for the top and create a fall themed piece or even a Christmas themed piece. I'm not putting this layer on too heavily because, again, it's just our undercoat. Let me see. Oh, Sharon's texting me. Okay. I apologize for the buzzing. Now, would you guys like me to use the same stamp, or you want to see it done with a different stamp? You guys can make my mind up for me today. I used all my brain cells to clean my desk off before Live with Prima. Sharon. Can you guys not hear me very well? Sharon, yeah. My computer's kind of far away from me, so I want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. The Sharon stamp? I can use the Sharon stamp. That's everyone's favorite. Everybody loves Sharon's stamp. Actually, my favorite is the Free Spirit / Carrie stamp, but don't tell Sharon that. She's my favorite stamp, and no one likes her as much. I don't know why. She's so awesome looking. Oh, you guys should see the new stamps coming out in January. I cannot wait till we can start showing you guys those stamps. Oh my gosh, I love them. I love them, love them, love them. They're so pretty. Pretty, pretty. And they're a little, and as you can see in each release, they've been a tad bit different than the first. So I'm kind of continuing with that, just evolving them just a little bit. And I just think you guys will really enjoy what we have coming out. Hopefully we can start showing those in December to you lovely people. Alright, let's see. What size will the new stamps be? The new stamps are going to be still the larger size. We kept them at that size because they are usable in cards and tags still. But I wanted something that could also be usable for home decor and mixed media. You want to know what size? They will be the same size as this current release. And I don't know if any of you saw that I'll probably do this next month. But as you can see, these larger stamps can still be used on tags and cards. And Carrie did an awesome Live with Prima class, if you guys didn't see that, where she made cards out of them. And this is the first release, so you could see they are bigger, but I've found actually myself, these have been more usable, and I've been able to use them on more items than the smaller ones. They're also easier to color, which a lot of people have told me they like as well. The elements they can cut out and use on more pieces than they could on the smaller stamps. So we are, for now, keeping them at the larger size. They can still be used on your smaller surfaces, but they can also be utilized in your home decor like we are today, and art journaling, scrapbook pages, and everything else. Alrighty. Let me grab my heat gun. I'd get in so much trouble if I showed a new one, you guys. I would love to, but oh my gosh. I would be in so much trouble if I showed a new one. They'd fire me. Hi, Trina. I know the larger ones seem intimidating probably for some, but I find the more I use them, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're not big enough. But they're not going any bigger. It's definitely staying the same size, but we really do, I find that they are more usable than the smaller ones. Okay. Doesn't have to be completely dry. I just want it at least dry to the touch. That way I could put my next layer of chalkboard paint down. We promise not to tell. Yeah, but it'll be on video forever. Kind of hard to keep that one hidden when it's recorded, guys. Alright, this is dry enough. You ladies try and get me in trouble. I could show you a sneak of a project I'm working on with one of them, where you won't see the whole thing. Maybe. I'll tell them Carrie told me to do it. Okay. So now we're going to take our black and we're going to do a coat over the top of the teal. This one I will do a little, give a little more generous layer to, just because I want a nice even coat. But because we already painted it with the teal, the black will go on a lot smoother. Now, if you find a piece of wood that is a little rough, just take a nice light sandpaper to the top, and it'll give you a nice smooth finish. Kind of just take off some of that, the wood grain. It'll smooth it down a little bit, make it easier to work on. Sometimes you'll get one with a rough grain that'll come through. No big deal. I wish we could get skateboard blanks. Oh my gosh, like mini skateboard blanks would be so awesome. And surfboard blanks. Oh, so fun. Skateboard wood is super smooth. I love working on that. But not everybody has skateboards, so this Walnut Hollow is my go-to for paintable surfaces. Alright. So again, I'm not being like too precise with this. I'm just putting the paint on. Now you want to make sure that your chalkboard paint's completely dry before you try to put any other mediums over the top, because what it'll do is if it's not completely dry, it'll reactivate that chalkboard paint. It'll run and run with whatever you're trying to put on top of it. Like my white paint pens later on, you want to make sure that this is going to be completely dry. So you may have to live through my heat gun for a little bit. Oh, me too, Carrie. Don't worry about it. Maybe at the end of the show, for those of you who can stick around, I'll turn off record. He. And show you something. But no one can tell that on me or Carrie. See, my teal was a little wet over here still, so it kind of blended with my black, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to get the sides real quick. You want a nice, smooth, soft brush. Any, like, your typical cheapy craft brushes, like these guys, will work perfectly. You don't want anything with a really heavy bristle, because you'll see all of those brush strokes through the paint. I just find the cheapy ones when you're painting like this work a lot better. The sponges, I don't use the sponges very often, because what those will do is it'll suck up that paint and you'll waste a lot of material. Okay. Unless I'm teaching a class with a lot of people, I don't use the sponges. I'm making a mess. Holy moly. Okay. My seat needs to be hit with some WD-40 too. Sheesh. Actually, I need a new one, but that's not going to happen. Okay, one more side and then we'll dry it really well. Easy peasy. You can get a bunch of these, do them all in different colors, hand them out as gifts, especially those who do a lot of gift exchanges. This would be so fun and easy to do for the holidays or back to school, for those wonderful teachers who put up with our kids all day long. All right, so we have that covered. I'm going to hit it with my heat gun. Ooh, really? Joe, I just went through, put a teal layer. I put a layer of the Sea Breeze chalkboard paint down. I dried it, and then now I put a layer of the black, just plain black chalkboard paint down. And now I'm going to dry it. I want to make sure it's completely dry before we go on to the next step. No problem. You guys didn't miss a whole lot. You want to make sure this layer is completely dry. And you can see it'll be kind of glossy if it's wet. If it's still wet, it'll have a glossy look. So you'll be able to tell when you have everything dried. And because the chalkboard paint is such a matte finish, it won't take long for it to dry because it has so much pigment in it. Pigment and the agent that, you know, gives it the matte finish will make it dry a lot quicker. All right. My hands have paint on it, so of course it's rubbing off onto my board. Woo! Still a little damp. Now, I am actually going to be up in Canada at Scrapbook Central in next month, the weekend of the 13th. I'll be teaching 3 classes. Friday night, we'll be teaching a mixed media album or journal, mixed media journal page workshop using all 3 of my Bloom Girl stencils. Saturday, we'll be creating an original Bloom Girl canvas, 18 by 18 inch canvas, so it's a good size project. And then Sunday, we'll be doing pan pastels. Sunday? Yeah, Sunday we'll be doing pan pastels. So we're going to have a good time up there. I'm also going to be heading to Scrap Addicts in February up in Edmonton. That's going to be a full weekend. And of course, I'll be teaching at Art Venture in Anaheim. If you guys have not signed up, we have 6 awesome educators that are going to be teaching with all brand new product. So those of you who've been wanting to see the new stuff, those signing up for Art Venture are going to get the first run at using that stuff besides, you know, the educators and design team. So they're going to get the first go at the new Prima goodies. All right, I am going to clean up some of my mess real quick, you guys, so I don't get my fingers and everything in it. Just get some of this up. Clean up, clean up. All right. So we have our piece down. Now what we're going to do, I had teal paint on my finger. We're going to take our Prima Distress tool, okay? And I'm going to take this along the side. Now you can use either side, the light side. I'm going to take it around the edges, take it over the top, kind of give it a distress. You could also take off the edge and use it that way as well. You can add as little or as much distressing as you'd like. And let's see if I can show you guys. See how I've distressed the edges? Kind of made that teal pop out a little bit. Fun, fun. Ready? You ladies are funny. I love you girls. I love you girls. All right, so we have our board. Now we get to do the fun part and start decorating. Now you all suggested that I use the Sharon stamp. Does anybody have any last requests before I get started? For this next step, you're going to need a brayer tool, as well as, now there's a couple different ones. Where did my other box go? Oh, let's see. Now make sure you clean yours. I suck, as you can tell, cleaning my supplies. My paintbrushes end up as, you know, weapons. I have a new shiny one. Look at that. That's from Clear Snap, that small one. The other one's a Speedball Brayer. Doesn't matter which one you use. You're also going to need some white gesso. So I'm going to use Prima's new heavy white gesso. It comes in 2 sizes. It comes in this size as well as this size. So if you're going to use a lot, I would suggest investing in the larger jar. And honestly, for the price, you get a lot of product for this size. If you went to an art supply store and got Liquitex or Golden, you'd spend more. So, all right. So you're gonna need. I'm going to pull it from this smaller jar. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to take some of my gesso out with some type of palette knife or card or something. You don't need a lot. You just need a little bit. I'm going to spread it out on my mat. Take my braying tool, my brayer tool, cover my tool with the gesso. You don't want it too heavy on there. You just want a nice even coat. And then we're going to just gesso right over the top of our stamp. And you want to do this pretty quickly because the gesso is going to dry if you don't. Okay. So we're going to flip that over. Just going to have her pop off the edge a little bit. I take my brayer tool. I let her slip, so she probably smudged. Ah, darn it. I let her slip, so she probably smudged, you guys. Press down. Oh, not too bad. All right. So the reason why I use the white gesso is because that if I go back over later, I can wipe her down and she won't come off my board. Okay, so make sure you wash your brayer off. I'm going to have to remember to do that. I'm going to scoop some of this gesso back up. Put it back in my jar. The one plus side of having your mat clean is you can save unused mediums later on. Alright, so let me wipe this off just real fast. I already have about 10 layers of gesso on the poor thing. You don't need to add another. Okay. Just getting the majority of the paint off. I'll clean it when we're done. And wipe that up so I don't get it all over my board. Alright. So the stamp you can leave as is, or you can dry it and come back in with your marker that you're going to be using to decorate the rest of the board, which I probably will. I did on the original. I went back through and kind of highlighted my lines a little bit. Ones that didn't really stand out, I went back in and kind of cleaned up. I would definitely do it around her nose, like her facial features. And the good thing is you already have the lines there. You don't have to worry about drawing. You just have to sketch back over. And you don't even have to do this. You can leave it just as it was. I'm using a Sharpie. This is the water-based paint pen. Once it's dry, it will be permanent. It's just like any other acrylic paint pen. I like the fine tip that's on this one. Alrighty. So you can see how you can go back in and accent the stamp. Alright. So what I'm going to do is, now if you don't like your handwriting or you don't feel comfortable freehanding it, you can type it out on a computer, print it out, and then you can transfer it with transfer paper. Or take the back of your paper, scratch it with some chalk, regular chalk, and then you can transfer it onto your board. So you don't have to handwrite it on. I'm going to, let's see. I did the list. Let's just do the list on this one too. Now you can also sketch it out in pencil first, which I think I'm going to do because my hand's shaky today due to too much coffee and not enough food. Let's do, I'm going to have to stand up for this one. So we have the list. Now again, there's different paint pens. I have this one, and I have the Mulatto, Maltaus, whatever, however you say it. There's different tips depending on how wide you want your lines. If you need more paint, you just kind of dab those, and they add more to your surface, to the nib of the pen. You ready? I'd write this upside down for you, ladies, but it wouldn't look very pretty, so I'm going to have to write this real quick. Okay. And again, once these are dry, they'll be permanent. I'm running out of ink in this one. We've used it one too many times, it looks like. There we go. Now we're working with gas. Let's see. Oh. Yes, the paint pens are water-based. Now you can use non-water-based. You can use the oil-based pens as well. I just like using the water-based pens because I can blend them with my other water-soluble products, my other paints. I'm going to go back over this one up here again, just because it didn't really stand out. Now again, you don't have to handwrite it. You can print something and transfer it on. Ready? This is really wonky over here. The list. You can go in and add some details with a thinner pen if you want to. Make it really crafty looking. Have some fun. Doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to go around the edge and make a little border. Let's see, what time? Oh my gosh. I still got plenty of time. You can have fun with all of that writing and things like that. All right. So you can mix and match. I put numbers. You don't have to. Sometimes numbers are intimidating because it shows you exactly what you have to get done. I'm going to go back in. Add those little extra details. Just a little doodling. Okay. All right. Now you can see how much everything else stands out against our stamp. So I would suggest going back over it. Again, though, I would start with the white gesso or even a white paint. White paint's fine as well if you don't have gesso on hand. But I would go back in and kind of redefine the lines of your stamp. Let's see if I can. Keep going. But you get the gist of it. Now what I'm going to do is the original I used these flowers. And the reason why I use these ones, because I love the background on them. They come, you can pull them apart, of course. Where's my other one? I didn't want to open this one. Here it is. So they come like this with the layers. And all I did was I pulled this happy little layer off from the rest of my flower. Look at how pretty that is. It's got some lace and it's got a couple of leaves. The one is like a mulberry leaf with writing on it. You could put that right up in your hair. Let's do that. Let's grab some glue that has not exploded all over my desk. I have a bad habit of leaving them tipped over or tipping them over in the process of doing another project. Okay. And we're going to add some of my metal flowers. These are awesome because they have a nice wide range of sizes and colors. They're already colored for you. There's some really small, nice plastic pieces in here as well that are great for cards and tags. They're flat enough to where you can add them to a card and still mail them off. Also in jewelry, I'm going to make a few. I have a few actually started with jewelry pieces out of this set. You get 17 embellishments in the one package. You can layer them on top of each other. I'm going to take a couple of these ones over here. Let's see. Let's do this one. And I'm just setting them out for now. I'm not going to glue them yet. I just want to figure out where I want them placed. And we are going to add centers to them using the glass beads in crystal and the 3D gloss gel. You want to use gloss because we have a shiny finished embellishment. You want to keep that shiny finish so it'll create more dimension. So that's why I'm going to use the gloss. Let's do like that. We'll just add a little bit here. And all of these are metal, or these metal ones are all flexible, so you can mold them to, you know, different shapes and layers. Okay. Just gluing them down with fabric tack. As soon as they're dry, they'll be there. I don't have a lot of issues with my pieces coming off once they're set with the fabric tack. The fabric tack holds pretty well. Okay. So we have our embellishments. You can see there. Easy, easy. Now we're going to mix a little make a little mixture of our beads and our gloss, 3D gloss. So what you could do is, if you have a lot of the ingredients, the art ingredients, what I've done is I don't have them, they're in my class sets, but you could buy the little containers you can find at the 99-cent store or Dollar Tree, whatever your discount store is. They have little plastic containers that you can get. And you can make your own little, my band-aid's falling off. You can make your own little mixtures that you can set aside, have them ready for whenever you want to do a project. Now, you could also do them with the sugars. You could also do them with the glitters and glass glitters and the mica flakes as well. And make your own tubs of pre-made three-dimensional pastes. So you can blend them just like I'm going to do now. I'm just going to take a little bit of our, let's make sure I don't have any gesso left on this card. All right. So I'm just going to take a little bit out of here. I don't need a lot for this project, but say you're going to do, you just want enough to cover whatever medium you're using or mixing. So I have my 3D gloss gel, and what the 3D will hold its dimension a lot stronger than some of the soft gels. This will just hold it that dimension more. It's a heavier base, gel medium. And then I'm going to shake in some of my, let me grab a smaller palette knife. They're all missing too. Make a little well in there so my beads don't go everywhere. Now, you can also color your beads before you mix them in with your gel. Now, I suggest taking a little bit of alcohol ink. You can spread some out, blend them with some alcohol ink, let them dry, and then you can blend them with your gel medium, and it'll give it a nice cool color. Give your beads a nice cool colored finish. So all I did was I blended my beads in with my 3D gloss gel. Okay, so I have this nice little three-dimensional paste, and I'm going to add it to my centers. Just going to add a little glob of it in the center of this one. And another one in the center of this one. Now you can heat set these with the heat gun. You won't have that nice clear crisp finish until probably about a day later once the center fully dries, just to give you that little tidbit. But it will dry it enough to where you can handle it and touch it after that. Now let's see if we can show you on this one the ones that have dried completely. You could see they're clear. You could see the bead dimension in there. They make really fun flower centers. Now the beads, I like the beads because they just keep that round shape, that form when you're trying to make flower centers. But of course you can use the glass glitter. The mica flakes are a little bulky, but you can break those down. You can crush those down just a little bit in size if you want to. But I wanted to give you that little technique to add to some of your flatter flowers or some of the ones that you just have on hand that you haven't used up. Then you want to give it a nice fresh look. So what I would do is I would let this dry or heat set, whichever one you prefer, and go ahead and you're done. Again, you can take in, actually, let's go ahead and add some color accents to our butterflies. So I have right here golden. It's a nice buttercream. It's a nice yellow color. And I'm going to take a smaller brush. And I'm going to add just a little bit of color to our butterflies. Okay. I'm not doing too thick. I want it to kind of look like it was drawn or painted in with chalk. So I'm doing a nice thin layer. So it still has that chalk look. Alright. Marvelous, marvelous. Okay. Now, okay, back to Art Venture. It's in January, right before CHA, and you can email Denny at prima.com, at Prima Marketing Inc. Let me make sure I have his email address right. I believe it's just Denny. And you can also find the information on Prima's Facebook page. The class samples are not up yet because we are using brand new products, but they will be coming soon. Believe me, between the class kits and the goodie bags alone, it's so worth it. Plus, you get amazing classes on top of that with 6 of the best educators. And we're going to have a good time. We have just really fun. We have a good time. And we had a wonderful group of people last year, and this year's just going to be even better. So yeah, if you contact Denny at primamarketinginc.com to register, if you need more information, he can give you all of that information. Also, we have Adrienne, her show's going to be up. Adrienne Ford's going to be doing a floral canvas on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure you check out her Live with Prima class. She always makes beautiful projects. All of our Live with Prima peeps do beautiful projects. Okay, so I'm just going in, adding some color. Ooh, again, shaky hand this morning. It's killing me. It's like it's got a mind of its own. Alright. So we just added a little pop of color to the piece. And again, the camera is taking a lot of the warmth out of that color. It's a very nice gold yellow. Nice, soft, muted colors. What you could do is you could use regular chalk. Once this is dry, you can wipe it down. You can use the chalk markers. I found these at Michael's. They're just like your regular chalks, but they're in a marker form. So you can use these and erase with just a little wet rag. Let me open one up here. Ugh. They're going to be similar to our paint pens, but these are washable. Easy to wipe off from most non-porous surfaces with a damp cloth. Let's get this thing pumping. I'll write my first to-do on it, I guess. And it's not wanting to. There it goes. Finish. Live with Prima. All right. So there you go. That is the marvelous little Live with Prima I have for you today. Something quick and somewhat easy to get those gifts started. We only have how many days till Christmas? Yikes. And I've already seen decorations out in the groceries or in the stores, and I want to stab somebody over it. We haven't even gotten through Halloween yet, and it's already showing up, but it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this today. Again, you can use any of the stamps to do this project. Any wood or non-porous surface, wood, panel, canvas, whatever you have on hand. If you want to turn this into a home decor piece, do it on a little panel in one of your cupboards in the kitchen. You can make your weekly menus on it if you do that. I am not one. I can't even think ahead to lunchtime half the time. So, but I really think this is just a fun little project that just shows you another way you can utilize your stamps and even your stencils. If you want to use your stencil on a larger piece, the same technique. You just to use your stencil with the white gesso, sponge it on, and you get the same exact look. So just another way you can use those nice little girls you have on hand. Do you have any questions? Oh my goodness, I missed so many of the chat, you guys. I'm sorry. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, Thursday night is Adrian, and she's going to be creating floral canvas at 6:30 p.m. Thank you, Carrie, for modding again. Like always, you're amazing. Thank you, Delana, for helping out. You guys are awesome. Oh, I'm dying. I'd show you my face, but my roots are grown out. And it's in a braid, and I look like a hot mess. Oh, I love you, Dawn. Hi, Dawn. You guys are great. Bye, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. And I believe I won't see you guys till next month. You're Jamie Lynn too? Awesome. That's the best name ever, huh? I know, I know. Oh gosh, you guys are going to get me in trouble. Okay, let me turn off record.